Can Dogecoin replace Ethereum or Bitcoin? In this video, we're going to look at Dogecoin as an asset class and basically analyze how it falls in today's cryptocurrency and basically just investing market. And with the volatility of Ethereum and Bitcoin, especially as we see crazy highs in both those asset classes, we're going to talk about some of the assets that are kind of being pulled up and following them, specifically in this video, Dogecoin, and we're going to be doing a full analysis and basically I'm going to give you guys basically some, insight on market sentiments about Dogecoin and basically some also reality checks, because unfortunately there's a lot of misinformation. I don't really want to call it misinformation or like fake news, but there's a lot of people that are using Dogecoin as a keyword because it's growing like Bitcoin and Ethereum to get people excited to buy into it. Maybe they don't get reward from it like financially, but they are getting views and content and all that kind of stuff. So I'm basically making this video as kind of like a level setter, but maybe in a positive and negative way. So it can impact you in multiple ways, but let's dive into it. And actually, you guys, before we get too far into the video, if you want to see more entrepreneurship, market, crypto, personal finance, retirement early stuff, hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free to do, and you will literally make my day. I would be so stoked. I'm trying to grow the channel, and it would make it would be the world of difference for me. So I really would appreciate it. It's absolutely free to do. It's just right down below. Please just click it, and that's all you need to do, and I would really appreciate it. Look, you're thinking about Dogecoin, maybe you own Dogecoin, maybe you don't really know what Dogecoin is. This isn't a what Dogecoin is, so please just Google what is Dogecoin so you can understand if you are watching this video and don't know what it is. But let's say you're thinking about buying it, you're thinking about selling it, or you own some. What do you need to know? Could it eventually replace Ethereum or Bitcoin? Because a lot of people are saying Dogecoin to the moon, it could do this, it could do this, it could do that, whatever it is. Dogecoin at its core is a meme coin, right? It offers very little utility value. The utility value that it offers is actually the utility value of a kind of a boomerang, or let's say like a bungee attached to Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now that might sound like, oh, it's not actually utility value, but it actually provides an interesting market kind of mechanism in that it really does, right? It's almost like a weight with a bungee cord with something that's growing or getting higher, right? Every time that Bitcoin or Ethereum pulls itself up, it also has to pull up the bottom floor of, let's say, the meme coins that have real investment in them. So it keeps the coins that have full utility value and full investment from really bouncing, right? Because so much of that community that co-owns and adjusts their portfolio value on the bottom, but it keeps them attached where they can still pull that bungee cord and separate in either way pretty hard, but there's still some elasticity where they kind of communicate and live. Now Dogecoin, Solana, and a few other ones are ones that are tied to that, and the rest of the meme coins are not really included in what we're talking about. But Dogecoin, interestingly enough, has a lot of utility value also. Well, not utility value, but it has a lot of value driven from kind of social aspects, or specifically Elon Musk. There is some Tesla investors, a lot of retail investors are just in that community and prop up Dogecoin, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's no different from other large companies that have whale owners that are maybe other companies, or, high net worth individuals with high levels of interest, right? There's no real difference in how you look at it. It's just a smaller number versus a larger number, right? The community that owns it is very similar. But here's the thing that Dogecoin doesn't have. It doesn't have, let's say, utility value. Now, you might argue that Ethereum and Bitcoin don't have utility value either, but Bitcoin has a finite asset class. It's been adopted so much at the point where it's here to stay. And its utility value is quite literally that it's a finite asset class. There's other things that it does, but in terms of the general market sentiment, it's a finite asset class that protects and hedges against inflation and is kind of the true decentralized largest token that's going to protect you against anything like, federal unrest when it comes to, the dollar or destabilization of any type of the economic things. Is it actually going to work if it plays out? Who really knows? Because so many other systems will fall apart. How do you even trade Bitcoin? Yada, yada, yada. But Bitcoin has fallen into that, and that's its utility value. Ethereum is also in kind of this proof of stake, proof of hold model where Ethereum is a true finite resource and that there's no more to be mined, let's say. And it also provides some utility value and computation around other kind of meme coins and smaller cryptocurrencies, let's just say. So it also powers some of the back end and has some utility value in the mechanisms of things that don't have utility value. So you might ask, does that have utility value? Well, those other markets are going to stay, and they're so large and so evolving that Ethereum also has some utility value. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum are also easily transactable for the folks that are using them to transact, which is also a very small portion, but there's real money transacting in that world, and there is very little incentive to transact in other, cryptocurrencies. If you're really into crypto, you're going to be like, oh no, that's not true. But the reality is we're looking at the macro data here. So there is some case there. But you shouldn't be like disappointed that Dogecoin can't take on Ethereum or Bitcoin's role. It doesn't mean that there isn't room for something else, right? There is, like, to every pendulum, there is the after swing. Or we're going to use our case, the weight with the bungee and then the thing that's growing or flying or trying to go, right? There is always some pull to the push and push to the pull, right? And what has basically happened is Dogecoin, surprisingly enough, has consistently fallen into that role, right? We see some fluctuation with Dogecoin that isn't necessarily mirroring the other cryptocurrencies, but that fluctuation comes from market move of the other cryptocurrencies. So what Dogecoin could do is provide some type of leveraged asset coefficient to the other cryptocurrencies. So what you might get out of a Dogecoin is maybe a riskier bet, as if you were to leverage trade Ethereum or Bitcoin, but higher volatility, which means you could either lose or make more money at a higher time frame. Now, is that truly true? Yes and no. But if you look at big categorical events around the growth of Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're typically tied to big moves on Dogecoin that are actually at a larger coefficient of change, which means that, let's say you were in Dogecoin at that time, those events were either going to help or hurt you more. So it's basically a leveraged asset class. Now, is it actually a leveraged asset class? No, but it's acting like one. And what that really means is all of a sudden we're seeing Dogecoin become more of a player. We're seeing more market utility. We're seeing more market transfer. We're seeing more market commerce around it. And eventually we're going to see enough movement. We haven't even come back into the place where it's going to start getting mentioned again. If we fall into that, Wall Street bets, that kind of commercialization of the social aspect of Dogecoin and cryptocurrency in general, we might see what I've just talked about really, really both become kind of cemented into what I'm saying, but we could also see those volatility jumps hugely. So while in this video, I'm not telling you guys, yes or no in terms of buying or selling or whatever you should do. I am telling you guys that for every person that's going to be like the next Bitcoin is Dogecoin, it's not, right? We know that it's not, unless something radically changes in terms of technology, and that technology is then monetized with Dogecoin, which there's zero incentive to do, right? So that's not going to happen. There's zero business case for that, right? There's no business case for that, so it's not going to happen. I'm just going to blanketly say it. I was going to try to give an out in case I was trying to protect myself on the yes, no, 99.9% yes, 0.01% no, or whatever it is. The reality is it's not going to happen. So it's more to level set, right? So if you're buying Dogecoin thinking it's going to $100,000, it's not. It might in 100 years with inflation, right? Or whatever it is, but it's not going to do it overnight, right? We're not going to see the 30,000 or 37,000 to 100,000 that Bitcoin did, but we might see growth, right? So it's all relative. It's all in perspective, and it's all things that you need to think about as an investor. But this video was just a level set. You're not going to see some type of billion% increase. It's just not going to happen. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to learn more about stuff or get some actual information about what you're doing, or some actual insight from somebody that has been in this area as an engineer, as a business consultant, you name it, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.